Hello, beautiful people. Welcome. As you notice, the logo says the Real Agent Flex, but my new logo is the Tiny to Mighty videos. And we are still the same business. Info at the Real Agent Flex and Tiny to Mighty videos are the same thing. We just separated them because me and Jenna have our real estate stuff that we do, which is over here. And then over here, we have the Tiny to Mighty videos, which helps coaches, course creators, and consultants create content in order to engage their outreach, engage their audience in a way that they've never done before. So if you're tuning in, you're literally wanting to learn how to create compelling hooks, create a story, and create a call to action. Now, we're not going to tackle all three of these things, but if you're wanting to develop these skills, and you're wanting to bring those skills into your marketing and your content making, make sure to stay tuned. Grab a pen and paper because today we're going to be unlocking the secrets on how to create captivating videos by using a story. Okay, so let's bring this right up. Go grab your pen and paper. I'm going to play you a song real quick just so you have time to go grab you a pen and paper. And I'll be pulling up my notes here because what I want to do is I want to show you the kind of the line layout that we have. Here we are. All right, you have your pen and paper. Good to go. Perfect. All right, go ahead and stop the music. Okay, so number one, we're going to just focus on, you've probably seen hooks. Now, there's two types of hooks. There's a visual hook, and a visual hook is something that grabs you visually. There's easy ways to do visual hooks. Visual hooks are viral things like people jumping from one building to another, falling down, and then boom, you pop out and start saying your ad. That is a visual hook. Another visual hook would be like leaning into the camera and talking dramatically. The second thing is there is a vocal hook. So you have your visual hook and then you have your vocal hook. A vocal hook is like these three ways to stop screwing yourself in 2025 are this one marketing tip can help you grow your business in ways that you've never thought possible. That is a visual hook, and then there is a vocal hook. And what I just used was a vocal hook, but that's not what we're going to focus on today. Today, we're going to be focusing on storytelling. Why? Because I believe it's so crucial. And every day, 12 p.m. my time, if you're anywhere across the world, it's going to be a little bit different for you. But at 12, we're going to be showing you how to craft your story. And we're going to be doing it with my stories. Why? Because what better person to tell than myself if I want to tell my stories? So if you have a pen and paper, I want you to write down number one, family stories. Okay. Number two is business stories. Number three, relationship stories. And number four, stories about you. Okay, now that we have that out of the way, I want you to write that down, create those four numbers, and make sure to leave room to write down. Because what I want you to do is take a look at this. I'm going to share my screen here, and we're going to do this kind of at the same speed. Present, share screen, share screen. Okay, here we are. Okay, so number one is going to be family stories. On those family stories, I have Javen. I have mom and the bowl of grapes. I have passing of my father. The dustpan. Okay. So these are several stories that I have lined up. We're going to show you how this works. So Javen and the dustpan, mom and the bowl of grape, the passing of my father. Another good story would be the fishing trip where we caught nothing then everything. Okay, so these are just 4 stories. Let's see if we can get another one. All right. So right now we're crafting these stories, and I'm gonna show you how I go through this. And I'm trying to come up with stories that I've not already used. So Javen in a dustpan, mom in the bowl of grapes, the passing of my father, and 4 is a fishing trip where we caught nothing, then everything. Oh, another good story. Let's see. Now, family stories are going to be anything related with the kids, relatives, cousins, in-laws, parents, those sort of things. So, what would be another story? We might have to go with a different story. So, okay. So with the Javen in the dustpan, this story, we're going to give this some context here. When you go through this, I want you to focus on several different things. Okay. So check this out. Down at the bottom, I have compelling characters. Compelling characters is going to be number 1, Javen. All right. Javen is the main character. Or actually, Jeremy is the main character. So, no, Javen is the main character. Jayvyn is the main character. Okay. Now that you have Javen as the main character, we're going to focus on the next thing, an engaging plot. So the engaging plot was I was I was dusting and trying to dust my kitchen floor. Jeremy is dusting or sweeping, I guess you'd call it sweeping the kitchen floor. Okay, so Jamin is sweeping the kitchen floor, and this right here is where the story takes a turn. Javen is like 1 or 2 years old, and at this point, I'm sweeping. The conflict is about to happen. Okay, in this story, the conflict, you can title these down, is that Javen keeps throwing the dustpan with all the dirt that Jeremy is sweeping up. Okay, so there's this moment where I'm sweeping up all this dirt in our kitchen floor. I'm cleaning, right? We finished cooking. We've been moving into this house that we're living into. I'm sweeping up all the dirt, and then Javen's like, I'm putting it in the dustpan. I put the dustpan on the floor, and at this moment, Javen goes down there, grabs the dustpan, and whoosh, throws it up. Dust is flying everywhere. It's going crazy. It's literally a madhouse. Then I sweep it all up again. I don't lose my calm at that moment, but I do later on in the story. The second time I start sweeping it all up all together. I'm sweeping, I'm putting all the dirt together, and I was like, hey son, just stay in the living room. So I try to block him off from getting to the kitchen. Anyway, he walks around the whole area because we had 2 ways to get into the kitchen. And I literally sweep all the dustpan up and I put it on top of this chair. It's a high chair. It's not like a normal size chair, like where you can grab it. He has to literally get on his tippy toes to grab the dustpan. Well, he grabs the dustpan and then throws the dirt everywhere. Yet again, throws the dirt everywhere. Now, this is where we're at in the story. We have the conflict. All right. Then we have the atmosphere or the symbolism, right? You can do atmosphere, symbolism, or sensory details. You can show people like what's going on. When you're doing this storytelling, you want to give the visuals and also give that type of like what is happening in the scene, okay? Because you got to be able to convey the story to not just you, the viewer, or the audience. So everyone has to understand what's happening in the scenario. So 1, we're in a house. 2, I'm sweeping. I'm in my kitchen. You understand where this is taking place. Okay. Now, once we happen to go on to the third point, the powerful theme, the relevance, all right, or the universal idea, explore timeless concepts like loss, love, identity or human condition. So we're going to be focusing on human condition. This is beauty. So continue back to the Javen story. Okay, so this is not one time throwing of dirt, 2-time throwing of dirt, and was on stool. Okay, so it's on like a higher chair. So write these down because these are going to be your bullet points on how you go back and tell the story. Number 3, third time, I moved the dustpan to the top of the table. Now, if these chairs are already higher, and you have to reach up on his tiptoes, the table's even higher than that. So you can imagine Javen climbs up on this chair barely enough to reach up with his little hand and he clips the handle of the dustpan. Everything, dirt is everywhere in the kitchen. Now, this is the third time that this has happened to me. I'm freaking out. So what do? I start yelling and I grab my son and I said, "Don't do that again." Yeah, I got him out of the kitchen. And I was mad because I've swept this floor 3 times. I've cleaned up everything and I was losing my shit. All right. I get mad. And here's another amazing wife moment. You can tell my wife's amazing. And she lets me vent and calm down. And I'm frustrated because I've now swept the floor and cleaned up 3 times. And she says to me later on, she goes, "Why are you so mad? Javen just wants to be you." So the story's like conclusion is my son wants to be me. Okay. So the conclusion is my son wants to be me. My wife told me my son wants to be me. He's watching me. Now, the beauty of this is if you're on stage and you're speaking to everyone out on a stage, you can relate. Say you're at a health conference and you can say your kids are watching you. They're watching everything you do, how you act with your finances, how you act with eating, how you interact with your technology. They're watching everything. Okay, so say you're at a different scenario. Say you're on camera like we are here. Right now, in this conclusion, my son wants to be me. Well, guess what? You have people wanting to be you, where you're at in life, what you're doing. People are watching you. They're watching your wins. They're watching your successes. They're watching your failures. They're watching how you interact with other people. Yeah, how you say you're a Christian and might be doing non-Christian things. They are watching you like a hawk, not just your friends and family, but everyone online. Now, this is how you build a story and character. And these stories, like this Javen and the Dustpan story, can go with me to different environments. I could be placing this environment into a physical fitness environment. I could be placed at a different type of scenario where I'm talking about fishing. Doesn't matter the scenario. This one thing here, if they're talking about family and friends, or if they're talking about, anything family stories, I have a family story that I can pull from my little Rolodex. I usually have 5 family stories, and I'm able to pull that story and tell it with good detail, and I don't lose any of the context. And then I always make sure that people know that people are watching you. Doesn't matter what you say or what you do. It is what your actions are and how you handle the situation. Now, I handled the situation poorly at that moment, but my wife brought me back and she showed me, "Hey, your son's watching you." And that moment blew my mind. All right. If you ever had a moment like that where your spouse or someone wiser literally calmed you down and said, "Hey, you probably need forgiveness. You probably need to forgive that person. Your help is needed." Guys, hopefully this is helpful. I'm going to be doing several more. We're going to be building out my new 5 stories. And little by little, we're going to be showing you how I build out my family stories. We're going to show you how I build out my business stories, my relationship with my wife stories. And we're going to show you how to build out the stories about you, your self-struggle, the self-talk, the personal experiences, the successes and failures that you may have in life. Thank you for tuning in to the Religion Flex. And we also have our secondary channel, which is the Tiny to Mighty videos. If you would like to like and subscribe, have a question about how to get your stories, I'm offering a 5-day one-on-one challenge where you get to work on me with one-on-one with me. It's 30 minutes. It's free. If that's something you would like to do, just let me know in the comments. 5-day challenge, and I will reach out to you and we can get a time that works best for both of us. So that way we can have you start making content that is relevant and it connects with your audience and your people. So I'll see you later. Have a wonderful day. Bye.